Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
It is, what is it? Thursday. And all of our guests today, including Farhan, standing or sitting by, brought to you by the Vancouver Giants. G-Man headed to the WHL playoffs. It's official after clinching a playoff berth last night, Rick. Your next chance to catch the Giants at the LEC is this Sunday when they take on Prince George. Puck drop 4 p.m. Don't forget, you can enjoy a family skate after the game. Head to VancouverGiants.com to get single game tickets and stay tuned for playoff ticket info. Of course, LEC also the site of the BC Boys High School Basketball Championships this week. Just before we get to Farhan, Dwight in the Delaney's OK Tire in Langley inbox. Is Ryan's mood today due to Tillamook withdrawal? Guess you haven't had much of that lately. You're not crossing the border.
I still have some, but I haven't been over the border. No.
Like, do you freeze it?
No, you get a big block of cheese. I don't just sit there like Costanza on my couch in velvet and chomp down.
You should.
I would. It is delicious.
I shouldn't say I haven't had it because I have been to the Tillamook factory.
Yeah.
Really? Is it in Oregon or Washington?
I don't know, but Farhan's going to disconnect the Zoom if we keep going on with this.
Farhan Lalji joining us from TSN in the wake of the Canucks' 3-2 victory over the Ducks last night, and NHL trade deadline coming up tomorrow. Farhan, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
Good, and I too have been to the Tillamook factory in Oregon.
There you go.
It's more than just cheese, right? Like the ice cream is really, really good. Not that I need any more ice cream in my world. And you guys were talking about the LEC. I was there actually yesterday talking to my good friend Dale Sipe with the Vancouver Giants. Yeah, we had a very secret high-level meeting. Can't tell you what it's about. I'd have to kill you if I told you.
With Sipe? High-level meeting?
Wow. Very high level with Sipe. Oh, yeah. He's a power broker, man.
Oh, no.
Well, I know. We know Dale.
We're very
I know.
aware of that. Hey, was that the most energetic you've seen the Canucks in a while last night?
Yeah, start to finish, to be honest. I mean, when you look at their first period, it was really unfortunate for them to be trailing 1-0. 17 shots in the first 15 minutes. I thought they came out really, really engaged, all four lines. I was impressed with how well they transitioned the puck, considering they didn't have Quinn Hughes, right, from their blue line up to their forwards. And, and even in the third period when Anaheim, got the one goal to get back in it on the rebound, I still don't think the Canucks sat back and just, took body blow after body blow. I thought they played reasonably well. They didn't give up a lot. So, look, I know it's Anaheim on the second end of a back-to-back, but when you're the Canucks, you've lost games like that before. So, you take the positive where you can find it. And between just the overall team play and Elias Pettersson's play, I think there was a lot to like.
Yeah, Philip Hronik with the long lead passes, speaking of getting the puck out of their own zone, I thought he was fabulous. Farhan, I believe you were there. Was it smart of Elias Pettersson to address his struggles with the media on, I believe it was Tuesday?
Yeah, I think he needed to do it. There's no doubt. Now, look, we've seen both ends of this before, right? We've seen the petulant Petey, and then we've seen the apologetic, try to be a nice guy and laugh a lot Petey. And I think both parts of that are real, right? Like I don't know that one is fake and one isn't. I think when he was saying what he had to say, I think it was genuine. For those that feel that who cares how he acts with the media. Well, even Rick Tocchet said that he needed to own some things with you guys. So. I thought it was positive. And, for me, it's not to overplay how he is with the media. I just think, I truly believe, Donnie, you and I have talked about this before when you were coaching kids. Excellence is an all-the-time thing, right? Like the guys, it wasn't really about the fact that he, said something wrong to IMAC. It was the fact that he wasn't in that moment willing to take accountability, right? And, and it's how you approach things and what your professionalism level is like. Like all of those things sometimes come out in those moments, right? So when you look at that, I think it was something that needed to happen. I think he needed to be humble, right? And that's important. I think that'll help him going forward.
All right, looks like 26 hours away. We're going to have a lot to talk about, or maybe not much to talk about. The trade deadline, what do they do now? They're in a playoff. Well, they're tied with Calgary for the final wild card spot. What do they do tomorrow, and today?
Well, I think more than anything, I think they're going to have to be sellers, right? I mean, when you look at where they're going right now with the organization, they're going to want to sell, but I don't think they're going to want to fire sale, right? I think it's really important to them to make sure that if they're going to acquire pieces, right, their term, right, like you don't want to get into a situation where you are just trying to get guys that are going to be rentals at this stage. That's not the stage they're at with the organization. I think they need to be better than that. So I think they've got to be as smart as humanly possible and judicious with what they do. There's a way they can get some term and, and not just term. When I talked to some of the people involved about it, they wanted to make sure that they were getting guys in the right age window, right? Like you don't want to go get a Braden Shen who's in, 33 years old. You want to get guys that are in the right age window. So I think that's really important for them if they go out and get pieces. But, I'd like to see them sell off a couple of the assets right now if they can get the right deal. Don't be in a rush, right? Like don't panic and just sell for the sake of selling. You need to make sure you get value for a piece like Brock Boeser. You need to make sure you get value for a piece like Pius Suter, because I think those guys can offer that.
Is there a police officer behind you? Park your car.
No,
Park your car. What are you doing? Pull over to the side.
Police officer.
Okay. All right.
All
right.
You're in somebody's parking spot, I guess. Rick.
All right, Brock Boeser.
I was in someone's parking spot, so I had to move.
There you go.
We've been through this before, you and I.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But we kept you this time.
But it looks like you drove 10 miles for crying
You
out
kept
loud.
me.
Yeah. Boeser.
No, not at all.
What's going on with Boeser? What's at play here?
Well, look, I don't think they're going to extend him between now and tomorrow, right? I don't think that's happening. So the question is, will you get the right offer to sell him, or will you, decide to let him get through the deadline? And, I don't think they're afraid to continue negotiations with him. I don't think they are. I think that they're very cognizant of what his value is, but I do think there's kind of a thought that depending on the interest level this player has, it might situation, right? Because if all of a sudden there's a ton of it might make the Canucks think, okay, maybe he should get paid more. But that said, I think they're going to be able to get the offer they want, whether it's a first-round draft pick and another player to go with that. I think when you look at the prices that have been paid so far in the past week, I think that's a reasonable ask for a guy like Brock Boeser, and I think they can potentially get that. So it wouldn't surprise me if they moved him. I don't think he's getting extended in the next 24 hours. But, could you see a situation where the Canucks don't trade and all of a sudden try to renegotiate and get him to an extension after that? Yeah, I think it's possible.
And quickly, Farhan, football, Seahawks let go of Tyler Lockett. Can you understand why? And what about DK Metcalf and his reported trade request?
Well, first of all, as far as Tyler Lockett's concerned, it's not a surprise, right? Like they owed him $17 million and there was a big bonus payment due. He's getting older, right? I don't think that's the type of player you want at that cap hit. I think if you can find a way to keep Tyler Lockett, you want him in your building. He's such a high character player. He's good for your culture. There's nothing wrong with what Tyler Lockett offers, just not at $17 million. But I think that kind of cat's out of the bag, so I don't think they're going to get him back. Now, the flip side is DK Metcalf. I think this is absolutely a blessing in disguise for the Seahawks. I'm on the DK is overrated train. He is a physical freak, but you can't live in a world where you're getting 4 catches for 65 yards a game. That's not value for a $30 million player. He is not a $30 million receiver. You can say what you want about the quarterback room and what he's had to deal with, but, Tyler Lockett survived just fine, right, with the other quarterbacks. Jackson Smith and Jigba played great last year. So, add to that the penalties, right? I think he's got more penalties in his career 10 more penalties in his career than any other receiver in the league. So that's not a positive either. So I think they're better off not paying him $30 million and trying to find a way to move on.
Farhan, we know you're busy. Can't thank you enough, buddy. We'll talk to you next week.
Talk to you guys.